What quietly screams rich/wealthy? I used to know the price of a gallon of milk, but now I don't. I am not rich, but I used to be poor. I needed to know that price. Now we are blessed to have enough that if I need it, I just grab it without looking at the price tag. I imagine that being rich would be similar but on a grander scale. Edit, I ended up going to the store just now to get something for my husband and I checked. It's $4.51 for the store brand 2% milk. It's 1 gallon of milk, Michael. What could it cost? $10. Edit, inflation is making this joke impossible. Damn. I work in the private jet world. Rich takes tons of photos getting on the plane. Real money just walks straight onto the plane. Hashtag X200B, I could go on for days about the differences. Alan Clark, a British politician born into a wealthy family, once disparaged someone by describing them as the sort of person who bought all his own furniture. I'm the sort of person who has scavenged all of my furniture from the curb or a dumpster. No logos on their clothes, but very well fitted, tailored, and pressed cleaned. Far as I'm concerned, this one is huge. Knew a girl who always wore beautiful clothes that were anything but loud. No tags, no huge designer brand names on them. She was a diplomat's daughter and her family ran in literally the top circles in her country. Yep, the really rich people try to stand out as little as possible while having a really nice wardrobe. The fake rich people buy clothes with big ass logos, luxury branded watches, Jordans, or whatever sneakers are popular that season, etc. Money talks, wealth whispers. When I was young, my middle-class parents drove into me the concept that it's not nice to talk outside the family about money. Ever since then, it's been a goal of mine to have enough money not to talk about. Exactly what my mother always told me. If people really have enough money, they do not feel the need to advertise. As soon as someone tries to impress me with their wealth, I am rather repulsed. I know it's not a big thing, but people who use really nice plates and silver cutlery very casually. I've seen poor people with Mustangs. But I've never seen poor people eating with polished silver. I used to work at a clothing store. This lady comes in, she's well dressed, looks great, and is super polite to the people helping her. At checkout, she pulls out a black Amex card. She was not my first black Amex card customer, but she was above and beyond more of a human than the others. I assume she was rich as duck. What's the deal with this black Amex card? Is that the most prestigious card available? Amex black cards have no limit, must be paid off in full each month, you have to spend some huge number each month year. But you can use it anywhere and get access to the Amex Black Card customer service, which is basically a whole operation dedicated to fetching whatever you ask for you. 247. Like some girl was doing a school project about the Dead Sea, the parents had the PPL go get her some sand for her project. I knew a guy with a black Amex. He was on vacation and lost his card. He called and within an hour someone literally walked up to him and handed him a new one in a carbon fiber case, and apparently they will do that practically anywhere on the planet. Man, I bet that's a neat job. So does Amex just have sleeper agents in small and large cities all around the globe, just waiting to get activated to deliver a new credit card? Before ATMs were everywhere, Amex kept fully staffed beautiful buildings in every big city in the world. It's where you cashed, or bought, traveler's checks, and the higher levels of the Amex card had all sorts of concierge services such as dinner and theater reservations, private tours, etc. So they've been at this for a long time. A Steinway concert grand piano in the living room, worth about $195,000, that no one in the household plays. Spontaneity. Just talking about something or someplace and doing it or booking it there and then. One of my roommate's childhood friends has generational wealth, billionaire level. They lived on the big island of Hawaii, and she would remark that he would just decide to go skiing, in Aspen on a whim, and wonder aloud why everyone else didn't just drop everything and go the next day. The guy was super down to earth but a bit disconnected from the reality of his friends living paycheck to paycheck. Yep. As I said in another reply, 2 regulars in bar I worked at said they missed skiing. Within an hour they were on the way to the airport. It is so outside my comprehension. I've never even seen a ski in real life. Owning a second house or a boat and not feeling obligated to use it heavily. Owning a second house or boat at all. Depends on the boat. Down south boats are pretty common. My boat was $40. But it is rubber and inflatable. Just like your girlfriend. I used to work in private aviation. The richest man I personally knew from the job owned a fully spec'd up Gulfstream G650er, roughly used $80 million with its spec package. Other than when he was getting on and off his personal aircraft that he used to fly between his home in Hong Kong and our base in Canada, you would never know he was that wealthy. He'd often show up for his flight in a beat-up old minivan that he liked cause he could fit lots of stuff in the back. Very humble guy, amazing tipper. Now the simply rich people, or the ones that had just enough money to fly private, were the worst. Rude, entitled, cheap. Took 3 million pictures the whole time they were getting on their chartered, not owned, Learjet, literally less comfortable than premium economy on the airlines, and just overall acted exactly like how rich people are portrayed in the media. I met many other ultra-wealthy people in that work, and most of them were all like the first guy. Very chilled and friendly. Didn't feel the need to show off anything. I've been in aviation for going on 12 years and have had the same experience. The real wealthy people have generally been incredibly down to earth, with the exception of one or two people over the years, and you'd never know they were high rollers. The rich but not wealthy crowd tends to be mixed. Some are cool and some are asses. Worked at Info, the rich but not wealthy crowd tends to get snippy when you don't drop everything to cater to them. Our few wealthy regulars, who kept us in business, would show face, ask what the wait is, then go to the restaurant on the field until their appointment. Exactly. I used to be a line guy, now with the airport authority as the operations manager as well as FO manager on an interim basis, but, back then, it was not uncommon at all to get in a quick chat and get a $20 to $100 tip from the wealthy guys depending on if we were busy, the weather sucked, it was a holiday, etc. I once had a wealthy-based customer who bought and sold airplanes multiple times per year call my cell and tell me he had a buyer coming to look at the Mooney Mustang he had for sale, but he was stuck across the country. He said the guy would be there in an hour and a half and he'd give me $400 to get it as clean as possible because he couldn't get there in his CJ in time to clean it up. Lol. Retired with no debt before being in your 50s. My wife teaches kids with parents like this. She made the mistake of asking what their parents do for work, and a good quarter said they were retired and most of them are in their 50s. Going somewhere pricey and not looking at the total before you pay. Edit, change tots to total. Though tots is also correctly hilarious. No doubt, tater tots and other frozen potato products have been going up in price. If you use money to get time instead of time to get money. Friend of mine used to run a ridiculously exclusive cocktail bar. He always said the ones in the fancy clothes who look filthy rich are normally reasonably wealthy. The ones in jeans and t-shirts who look normal are normally filthy rich. Basically, the truly rich people didn't see the place as anything out of the ordinary, so saw no reason to dress up. Money talks, wealth whispers in a nutshell. Saw someone say once everyone enters their house through a garage that's empty except for some bottled water. I don't know why, but this is so true. This is a good one. Picturing it made me think of the graduation parties at really nice houses I've been to, and the garage is always clean and empty. A clean, empty garage that's drywalled and painted, now that's an owner who has their shit together. They don't work on their own cars or buy so much unnecessary shit that they need extra storage space. I went to this trust fund baby's house once. It wasn't anything impressive, it was more or less a typical middle-class ranch home. I knew the guy was a trust fund baby, but he wasn't like mega wealthy or anything. He more or less had enough to live a comfortable middle-class lifestyle for the rest of his life without working. When I got there, I was astonished by how bare the house was. There was the bare minimum of furniture in the living room, a small couch and an easy chair, and a 32 TV on a small stand. The kitchen didn't even have a table. It was just a fridge, microwave, oven stove, and the design was something out of the 1960s. His bedroom had a nice desk with a $5,000 gaming PC with multiple monitors. The kitchen appliances looked way out of place because they were all top of the line in an old-fashioned kitchen. He didn't have bookshelves, end tables, coffee tables, etc. Nothing. No trinkets anywhere. Walls were completely bare. He had a woman come by once a week to clean everything, do laundry, etc. I asked my friend who knew him what was up with that, and he pointed out that when you're squeezed for cash, working paycheck to paycheck, the tendency is to hoard. This guy didn't have stuff in his house because he didn't feel the need to buy and retain it. If he ever needed something, he'd just buy it. It's like turning on an infinite money cheat code in a video game. Sure, you can go buy all the fancy things to show off that you want, but it makes it feel completely meaningless and hollow at it. And also even kind of embarrassing if you have friends, relatives that aren't rich and you have random extravagant shit around that you wasted money on that could been used to solve all their problems. Exactly. If you just start doing the mental math on what this costs you versus how much you enjoy it, versus how much the money would make a difference to someone else, and what that money would be worth if you just didn't spend it in 45 years with compounding interest. Silly things seem even sillier.